Good day, guys. Thank you again for dropping by in our classroom. This afternoon, we're going to talk about a special lecture I have prepared for all students who are enrolled in Technology for Teaching and Learning 1, Chapter 1. Okay, so this chapter is divided into 3 parts. So we'll be having 3 videos on this chapter. So it is prepared specifically, I repeat, for those who are enrolled in Technology for Teaching and Learning. So we hear that Teaching and Learning with Technology, an introduction. So in here, we are going to talk about the following. Number 1 is the ICT competency standards for the Philippine pre-service teacher education. If you say pre-service teacher education, this is you, the future teachers, no? The understanding the basic concept in ICT. In this lesson, we'll be having more on definition of terms. Roles of technology for teaching and learning. In here, we are going to learn the don'ts and the do's, okay? The rules, okay? And your role as the user of technology. In this specific chapter, we're going to have the following objectives. Number 1, identify the competency standards of ICT for teaching and learning in pre-service teacher education. Number 2, unpack the basic concepts of ICT to provide common understanding for teachers and learners. And the last one is value the use of ICT in the teaching and learning process. So, if we talk about technology, let's talk first about what you call the borderless world. Okay, if we talk about borderless world, this is now the world that you are living now. This is now the world that you can imagine, the digital world now. This is the world without border, wherein you can just collaborate with the other countries, unlike before. No, we can also travel to other countries for as long as we have the complete papers, no? Of course, except for North Korea and other communist countries wherein they really do not want to collaborate with other countries, no? So, if you talk about borderless world, we talk about globalization. So, it rooted from the globalization, the concept of globalization. This concept of globalization where the goods, services, technology, information, capital flow through the borders from one nation to another. So there's a free flow, okay, of goods, the services, technology, information, even culture, no, without borders from one nation to another nation. So, this concept is very promising, no? But, of course, there are lots of scholars who are saying that this concept would only benefit the bigger countries and the smaller countries would be left behind because of this. Why? The concept of globalization would, the bigger countries would be going freely to these smaller countries, or extract the raw materials, okay, learn from their culture, learn from their technology, the technology of these smaller countries, and then they will bring it to their country. No? They are free to travel, and they are free to enter these smaller countries, wherein these smaller countries would have no access to these bigger countries. Access in terms of financial or the capacity to travel or to enter that certain country. So that is one. Loophole of this concept of globalization. So, globalization means interaction between the masses. Okay, so nababanggit ito masses, mga nasa laylayan, mga mahihirap, mga hindi gaanong kilala, no? So, in terms of culture, ideas, economy, politics across the globe. So, it is the interaction between people, between the masses, between the people in terms of culture. So, we have interaction, no? Interchange in terms of culture. Ideas, we share ideas from each country to other country. The economy, the politics, okay? So, it's across the globe. It's worldwide, no? So, people of the Philippines cannot only be limited in traveling in Asia, no? So we can go to Europe, to other nations. No? So globalizations have opened the opportunity actually for everyone to have access to other countries in terms maybe of job, etc., etc. But on the in the other context of globalization, as I've been telling a while back, it might be the reason, no? It might be the reason that these smaller countries will be left behind at the end of the day. No? So, however, this globalization, I have included this one in our lectures because this concept have opened, okay, to the term, have opened the term, or gave way to the term borderless world, right? This world has no borders, no. Because of the use of the internet, people across the world can communicate with each other within a fraction of a second, regardless of borders, no. So there are no borders in terms of communication because of the birth of internet, no. So if you want to ask the condition or the situation of a friend who is in Canada, you just log into your social media, go to the messenger, message a certain person, and then in just a fraction of a second, you will be receiving the reply. Unlike before, no, when there were no internet, when there is no internet, we used to use the paper and pen, no? You write and then you mail it. It will take at least, if it's abroad, if it take at least 3 to 4 weeks, no, for them to receive the letter. And then they're gonna reply you at least 3 to 4 weeks again. So imagine that type of communication during that time. But this time, borderless world. There is no such border. Regardless of borders, we can easily communicate with other people. We can easily interact with other people in terms of culture, in terms of ideas, economy, politics, etc., etc. So this is the world that I want you to imagine as the introduction of this course, no? Because we will be talking about ICT. We will be talking about the internet, the social media, the power of technology. And then we will always come back to this concept, the concept of borderless world, which the internet have opened. No? Okay? So if you talk about internet, we will always be thinking about the word borderless world. Now, let us look into the facts on ICT, or facts about information and communications technology. No? Number one, technology changed the world fast. This is true. Our world is fast changing because of technology. You might agree. You have to agree. Okay. Banking, finance, businesses, economics, academe, okay, communications, change a lot. No? If you want to eat now, if you want to eat Jollibee in the comfort of your room, you just dial a number and then they will be delivering at your doorstep. We have the Shopee, have the Lazada, okay, where you can shop. You can shop freely online. No? If the teachers give you assignments, you can just easily research through internet. You encode it and you print it. There's no need to write it, right? If you're going to present in the classroom, you're going to use the PowerPoint presentation. Gone were the days when student teachers are using Manila papers, cartolina, etc., etc. Okay, so it changed the world fast. Even in your family. Although we can see that there are some negative effects and the positive, but we'll be discussing this later on in the next few slides. Okay. Number two, technology provided a new environment for learning. This is true. During the pandemic, it's the technology who saved the education process in the Philippines. It's because of technology that is the academics, no, the activities have continued in all agencies, and not only in terms of education. So in the academe, there's always a way. No? Although we have tried to bring these modules in your doorsteps, but these modules are still products of technology. We did not write it. Okay. with the help of the internet, with the help of computer, with the help of these printers, etc., etc. And of course, internet have done the best solution during the pandemic. Because of internet, we were able to reach you. You were able to talk with you. You were able to receive your modules. You were able to receive your activities. You were able to receive instructions. And then we were able to learn, okay, midst the pandemic. Next one. At first, it created a division between the digital natives and the digital immigrants. With the birth of internet, there was a war or the division at first, between the digital natives and the digital immigrants. Who are the digital natives and the digital immigrants? If you say digital natives, these people includes you. You are the natives of the world of the digital world, the world of the internet. No, you are the native since this is your time. The birth of the internet was the time you were born. Okay, you were raised. Kasama niyong lumaki. Okay, kasama niyong lumaki yung internet. So you are digital natives, and the people that were born before you are the digital immigrants. Sila yung pumasok sa mundo nyo at natututo pa rin at pinag-aaralan yung yung nakasanayan sa mundo nyo, di ba? So, we are the immigrants, you are the natives. And at first, there is a division because you are fast learners, okay? Everything is fast. While these digital immigrants started from zero, they have to learn from the basic. Samantalang kayo kasama nyo nang ipinanganak. Okay? So, ang dali-dali sa inyo. Pero kami, nag-aral pa kami. Nagets nyo ba? That is what they call the division between the digital natives, you, and then the digital immigrants, we, kami yun. Okay? Next one. It led to a new educational revolution. So, I have been telling a while back that the education pattern in the Philippines and the other parts of the world have changed because of the birth of ICT. But I guess the birth of ICT have a lot of positive impact to education. Although, of course, sabi nila, natututo daw yung bata maging tamad, lalong-lalo sa paggamit sa library. Okay? Well, it's given. For as long as at least we have e-books, you can easily access it from the internet. The last one, it resulted to better learning outcomes. It's because we have the new educational revolution and the new educational techniques that been used in teaching and learning process. The result is better also. It's faster, it's better, it's easy to be checked, easily to be recorded, etc., etc. And there is something new discovery in every output. Okay, there are times in my section or in my classes where I ask them to make a video of a presentation or a certain topic. And then you will just say, wow, these students really are working hard using the ICT. And gamay na gamay ninyo ang paggamit ng ICT kasi ang gaganda ng outputs nyo. So, nagre-result ito, nagbubunga ito ng mas magandang learning outcomes, yung paggamit natin ng ICT. Whether we accept it or not, ICT or the information and communication technology makes our work easier, okay? More colorful, mas maghusay, mas maganda, pinaganda at pinapaganda nito ang ating learning outcomes. Okay, moving on, let's talk about the lesson 1 now, the ICT competency standards for Philippine pre-service teacher education. We will be talking about you. You are members. Okay, you are one among these Philippine pre-service teacher educators. Kayo yung susunod na magiging guro ng Pilipinas, no, na produkto ng ICT. Because as I've said a while back, you are living in the digital world. Okay. Outcomes, lesson outcomes, you have, number 1, identify the competency standards of ICT necessary in teaching for pre-service teacher education. And then number 2, familiarize with the ISTE, National Education Technology Standards for teachers. So, every future teacher, this is our premise now, every future teacher demonstrate proficiency in the development and utilization of information, communication, and technology resources in promoting quality teaching learning process. So this is now the objectives of the ICT, that every future teacher should demonstrate the proficiency in the development and utilization of the ICT resources, any resources that is available in your area, in your place. You have to use it, maximize it in promoting quality teaching learning process. So demonstrate proficiency in the development. So you are not just the user, you are not just a user of ICT, but as time goes on, you will be the one to develop, IMs or instructional materials using ICT in order to promote quality teaching and learning process. So that is the objective of the ICT in your life as a future teacher. So let us look into the 7 domains where you will try to develop or perfect, with the use of ICT. We will try to look into the domains where we need to accept, we need to work on, we need to develop on the ICT in promoting the teaching and learning process. Okay. Domain 1 is understanding ICT in education. It's very important. Every teacher should demonstrate understanding in ICT in education and have to accept it, that ICT is a part of education, of the teaching and learning process. Even if you are 55 years old, sabihin, matanda na ako para dyan. No, we need to enter the digital world in order to cope with what the students in the digital world is asking from us. Okay, so the indicators for this domain 1 is demonstrate awareness of policies affecting ICT in education, comply with ICT policies as they affect teaching and learning, and contextualize ICT policies to the learning environment. So in here, this is you cannot just say that, I understand the ICT roles in the education, I already know that. But no, it should not end with your understanding. You need to demonstrate the awareness of the policies, the do's and the don'ts. You have to comply with the policies, and then you have to contextualize ICT policies in the learning environment. So in order for you to gauge your understanding in ICT education, you have to understand and do these 3 indicators. Okay. Number 2 domain, curriculum and assessment. So we have here at least 4 indicators. Number 1, demonstrate understanding of concepts, principles, and theories of ICT systems as they apply to teaching and learning. Number 2, evaluate digital and non-digital learning resources in response to students' diverse needs. Number 3, develop digital learning resources to enhance teaching and learning. And the last one, use ICT tools to develop 21st century skills, information media, the technology skills, learning, and innovation skills, career skills, and effective communication skills. So, curriculum and assessment. Curriculum is the curriculum implementation. The indicator of its success is the assessment. Okay. Kung ano yung resulta ng assessment mo, yun ang indicator kung nagtagumpay yung curriculum mo, yung pagsasagawa mo sa teaching and learning process, So in here, you as a teacher should demonstrate understanding of concepts as they apply to teaching and learning. And then you need to evaluate the digital and non-digital, resources. Not because you are living in the digital world, ipipilit natin yung digital learning. No. Because there are times when we are going to use the non-digital learning, specifically that our students have diverse needs. Magkakaiba sila ng kailangan or pangangailangan. As I've said in the other videos, that diversity should not divide a classroom. That everything should be included. There should always be inclusion to education. Same through here. Whether you are digitally intelligent or digitally equipped or not, you are still accepted in a classroom. That is why you as a teacher should also develop the digital and non-digital resources in order for you to respond to the students' diverse needs. No? And then you have to, the development of digital learning resources should enhance your teaching learning. Hindi nito dapat ginagawang tamad ang teacher. Hindi dahil na mabilis na lang ang teknolohiya, sasabihin ng teacher na, oh, just go to this website and then read or watch it and then that's it. You as a teacher should always process, okay? Because it's not enough that this ICT would be the one to teach the children. It's always you to process the information, no? So never play with technology, okay? It should not make you lazy, but it should make your life easier, your work easier, okay? So domain number 3 is pedagogy. Apply relevant technology tools for classroom activities. Use ICT acknowledge to solve complex problems and support students' collaborative activities. Model collaborative knowledge construction in face-to-face or virtual environments. So, as a teacher, we should acknowledge that a class is made of people with different personalities. So, collaboration. You teach them how to collaborate with each other. No? Collaborate with each other even through virtual or face-to-face. So, technology has a lot of positive effects, no, in the teaching and learning, specifically during online. During the pandemic, I still pursued the requirements of group activities. Nagawa nila kahit through through usap lang sa telepono or sa chats, no. Nagawa nila na parang nakikita, pag binapanood mo yung video outputs nila, parang andun sila sa iisang lugar, but that is just a product of editing, no, using the ICT. So the pedagogy or the way how you're going to teach, no, in your class is improved with the use of ICT. This ICT should not limit the students, but it should open doors for them to try some new, the newest way of producing an output. So teach them how to collaborate with each other. So you have to apply only the relevant technology tools in the classroom. No? Whatever is available, then that is the technology tool that you are going to apply in your classroom activities. So, huwag pilitin pag hindi naman at wala naman talaga. Domain 4, technology tools. Ito na. Demonstrate competence in the technical operations of technology tools and systems as they apply to teaching and learning. Use technology tools to create new learning opportunities to support community for learners. Demonstrate proficiency in the use of technology tools to support teaching and learning. How far and how deep and how wide is your knowledge with technology tools? Yeah. Minsan, pag tayo nga ay digital migrants, immigrants, nahirapan tayo compared to, of course, the digital natives. So, domain 4, technology tools would challenge us to demonstrate competence in the technical operations. Okay? Especially during the pandemic, we really have to undergo series of seminars for us to familiarize with the classrooms, online classrooms, the MS Teams, the Moodle, etc., etc. So we need to try also. Hands-on is very important. And as they always say, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid in operating, this technology. It should be your mind. It should be the human who is operating and controlling this technology and not the other way around. Okay, so let us use the technology tools to create new learning opportunities. We have to learn. We have to try. Okay, it should not limit us, but it should open opportunities for us to learn new and then to make our life easier as teachers. No? But of course, as I have said, there is also a limitation, especially it depends on the area of your assignments later on, wherein you should not insist of the use of technology per se, or technology alone, or digital tools, when in fact, hindi naman kaya ng estudyante, or nila naiintindihan. So, kailangan bumuo ka pa rin ng digital and non-digital. But, the thing that I would like to emphasize here is, everyone should learn these technology tools. Everyone, especially you, the future teachers. Domain 5 would be the organization and administration. So manage technology-assisted instruction in an inclusive classroom environment. Exhibit leadership in shared decision-making using technology tools. So inclusive classroom environment, meaning to say everyone is included. Okay, even if these people are digitally enhanced or not. Okay, even if these people are able or disabled, but an inclusive classroom means to say that everyone is included. Okay, and then at the end of the day, everyone should learn from it or should learn from you. So this technology or the ICT should not limit the student, but should make the student think more, act more, and then collaborate with others. No, so manage technology. Sabi dito, manage technology-assisted instruction in an inclusive classroom environment. Everyone should enjoy. Everyone should join the activities. Okay, it should not limit to only a group of people. Okay, so that's the domain number 5. Moving on to domain number 6, teacher professional learning. So this is you as the future teachers. Explore existing and emerging technology to acquire additional content of pedagogical knowledge. Utilize technology tools in creating communities of practice and collaborate with peers, colleagues, and stakeholders to access information in support of professional learning. So, being a teacher, if you set your foot in an actual classroom, it should not stop there. Go back to school. You learn. You explore. Explore existing and emerging technology in order to improve the teaching and learning process, in order to improve you as an individual and as a professional. So utilize these technology tools in creating communities, okay? In creating new groups of students who are active in the digital world, okay? And then you collaborate with peers. There is no wrong in asking. Okay, there is no wrong in collaboration. Collaboration means you work with other people. Okay, you learn from other people, and then with collaboration, you will be enhanced more and more and more. And at the end of the day, you will become more effective teacher with your 80 to 90 students. Okay, in a classroom. So remember that in a classroom, they have different personalities. No, there is no two persons that are exactly the same. Wala, magkaiba yan. So how are you going to treat this type of personalities? So with the use of technology, it will make your life easier as a teacher. And the last domain would be the teacher disposition. So demonstrate social, ethical, and legal responsibility with the use of technology, tools, and resources. In here, the teacher should always know the limitations in using technology also. No, there is always a time that you have to say, oh no to that. We will use the non-digital approach. No, show positive attitude towards the use of technology tools. So positive towards the use of technology tools, you have to maximize its use and don't stop learning. If there are new apps, okay, that you have to learn, then go for it. No, because if you do not want to learn, then you will be left behind. Yung iba nakakompute na ng grade, ikaw nagche-check pa lang at nagre-record. Yung iba, may click lang, pumapasok na sa class record yung scores. Ikaw, pinapasok mo pa isa-isa using your ball pen in your class record. And also, you have to consider the ethical side of using the ICT, specifically social media. We are teachers, and it said that if you are a teacher, you you are put in a glass box wherein everything that you say, everything that you do is being seen by everyone. So the way we write, the way we project in social media is our personality. So we have to be careful with the way we project ourselves in social media so that we will not be misunderstood at the end of the day. Okay. Next one. The Department of Education issued Department of Education Order 42 Series of 2017. What is it says? Mandating the use of the Philippine Professional Standard for Teacher or PPST to start with the beginning teachers who are the fresh graduates from the teacher education program. That documents includes, number one, this one is the inclusion, show skills in positive use of ICT to facilitate teaching and learning, and show skills in the selection, development, and use of the variety of teaching, learning resources, including ICT to address learning goals. So, in the Department of Education, Order number 42, it mandates the PPST that the beginner teachers, okay, who are fresh graduates like you in the future, if you graduate, you will be called beginner teachers. You as a beginner teachers, when you apply, this is a requirement. Your knowledge in ICT is one of the major requirements because it says here that your documents includes show skills in the positive use of ICT. It's not just a use, no, but a positive use, responsible using of ICT to facilitate teaching and learning. Okay. And of course, show skills in the selection, development, etc., etc. So you see, pre-service teachers like you should really equip yourself with the use of ICT. No, kailangan, whether you like it or not. You have to enhance. You have to equip yourself with the use of ICT, since it's a requirement when you, of course, apply for a teaching job. Okay, moving on, we have here the ISTE, National Educational Technology Standards for Teachers. So, if we say STE, Society for Technology in Education, so if we include that I in the beginning, so it becomes ISTE, the meaning would be International Society for Technology in Education. So, we have here the standards for teachers as written in the ISTE, National Education Technology Standards. No? So, standard number one for us teachers is technology operations and concepts. So, this means that teachers demonstrate a sound understanding of technology operations and concepts. It is expected that you and I, being teachers, have sound understanding or deep understanding, enough understanding of technology, the operation, and the concept. Okay, so we understand that this technology is used in order to make our life easier as teachers. Okay, and to make the life of our students lighter too. Okay, and to make the teaching and learning process more enjoyable. Okay, maging kawili-wili, mas magaan. Hindi na katulad ng dati, no, na niwala man ng IMs. No? So you have to understand that the teacher, you as a teacher, should understand the technology operations and concepts. So that is standard number one. Standard number two, planning and designing learning environment and experiences. What does it mean? This standard implies that teachers utilize the use of technology to plan and design effective learning environments. So it is expected from you and from me as teachers that it is a standard that we utilize the ICT to plan and design effective learning experiences and environment. Let us utilize and maximize ICT to provide our students a learning environment and experiences that are effective, okay, at katanggap-tanggap. Epektibo at katanggap-tanggap. At yung hindi sila natatakot. It should be an environment that is not that would not be very stressful to them, but an environment where they can learn easily, that they can project their own selves, no? They can enhance their skills and their talents. So that is the classroom that we should offer to our students. So, standard number 2 is planning and designing the learning environment of our students, or including you also, because happy and successful students is a happy and successful teacher. Standard number 3, teaching, learning, and curriculum. So, we'll be talking about the way how to teach, what to teach, how to teach, and the learning, okay, is the process of transferring the knowledge to our students, and the curriculum. Okay. Teachers should be mindful that in the implementation of curriculum plan, they must include strategies for applying technology to maximize students' learning. So, in preparation of our lessons, in the curriculum plan or the lesson plan, we should see to it that technology is maximized, or we maximize the use of technology in the preparation of this, even in planning the lesson. No? What lessons or what activities or assessment are you going to include in your lesson for the next day? So, be sure that in here, we include the strategies for applying technology, no? To maximize student learning. Remember that with the use of technology, assessment becomes easier, no? Magiging mas enjoyable, it's more enjoyable, mas kapakapanabik, no? And including the result. So, kapag maganda yung assessment mo, maganda rin yung output. So, we should be aware that teaching, learning, and curriculum, no, should include the strategies in applying technology to maximize our student learning. Number 4, assessment and evaluation. Assessment, evaluation, it is the way for us to know or test whether our students have understood the lesson, or were we ineffective teachers, or the strategy that we have used, the strategy and methods of teaching that we have used is effective. If these students would have a very low score, the indication would be the lesson is not understood. So there are lots of factors. Maybe it's teacher factor, or the lesson factor, the environment, or maybe the student's factor. So that's it. Assessment and evaluation. Teachers apply technology to facilitate a variety of effective assessment. Okay. If you give your students activities, be sure that you maximize the technology in order to have a variety of activities that is effective assessment. No? Let's continue. An evaluation is strategies to collect and analyze data, interpret results, and communicate findings to improve instructional practice and maximize student learning. So here, evaluation is strategies to collect, analyze data, interpret the results. So it's always go back to the power of technology. Diba? So, yung evaluation natin through internet, through our computers. We are not using our pens in doing this. So, in improving the instructional practice and maximizing the student learning, we have to maximize also the use of technology, even in the assessment and the evaluation. Okay? Standard number 5 is the productivity and professional practice. Teachers use technology to engage in the ongoing professional development and lifelong learning in support of student learning, increase productivity, and to build community of learners. Okay. Sabi ko na kanina to na, teachers always use technology to engage, no? And to continue their professional development. Since learning is non-stop, no? We have to continue learning. Do not stop upon getting your license. So, technology is being used here again since it increases the productivity of the teacher. And if the productivity of the teacher is increased, nagre-reflect ito sa kanyang pagtuturo, nakikita ito at nagre-reflect sa kanyang estudyante, at nagre-reflect din sa community na kanyang pinaninilbihan or pinagtatrabahuan, or nire-represent. So you see, it's an ending. The professional practice never ends. So, maximize the use of technology to acquire this additional knowledge, no? Seminars, research presentation, researches, mas madali na nga mag-research ngayon dahil may internet, di ba? Mas madali kang makagawa ng mga papers, more research papers because of the use of technology. Standard 6, social, ethical, and legal human issues. Okay. Again, I repeat that as a teacher, we should understand the social and ethical and legal basis surrounding the use of technology in support to students' learning, especially those who came from different backgrounds, affirm diversity, promote safe and healthy use of technology resources, and facilitate access to technology resources to all students without any bias. So, we should show the students, no matter where they came from, their background, their ethnicity. Okay, we should show in the diverse classroom that we are ready to promote. Okay, we are ready to promote the use of technology with all the students. No bias. Okay. It is our duty as teachers to promote a safe and healthy use of technology in a classroom. Okay? It is our responsibility to promote equality in a classroom. Okay? So that's it. We should always be the one to lead. We should always be the one to model. Okay? The acceptance of everyone, no matter where they are, their ethnicity, their race, okay, their socioeconomic status. We have to teach them or affirm, okay, that they are accepted. Okay. That's it. Next, ISTE National Educational Technology Standards for students. Ito naman ay para sa mga estudyante. Kung kanina para sa mga guro, ito naman para sa mga estudyante. Okay, una, creativity and innovation. So it is expected that, okay, here, produce students who demonstrate creative thinking, construct knowledge, develop innovative products and process using technology from existing knowledge. So it is expected that the students that we are producing will demonstrate creative thinking, okay, through the help of technology. Construct knowledge. You construct knowledge. Develop innovative products. With the use of technology, again, you develop your innovative products and processes using technology from existing knowledge. So, we will be teaching you the theories now. Okay? Those who are enrolled in science. Innovation is very important. Okay? So, students are expected to be a holistic individual, no? The creative thinking is with you. Nag-iisip kayo. Okay? You develop innovative products with the use of technology. Especially that you are in the digital world. I expect everyone to be digitally equipped already. No? From that existing knowledge, you are going to enhance that with the use of technology. That's the meaning of it. Creativity and innovation. You have to be creative. You have to be innovative in order for you to get out from your comfort zone. So that when you graduate and become teachers, baon-baon nyo to. No? Your being creative and your being innovative is very important. Especially, sinasabi natin, we are a globally competitive school. No? So you have to show us that you are really creative students. So, if your professor asks you for an output, dapat gumagawa ka yung beyond the expectation. No? Hindi yung pagtingin pa lang ng professor sa output, no? Like digital story halimbawa. Tingin pa lang ang poor naman ng editing niya, pati picture niya, ang lighting hindi pa magkatugma yung pagsasalita sa pagbuka ng bibig ng character. So you see. So you have to be innovative, creative, no? In your former classes with me, I have asked you to develop the activities, no, or the outputs through videos, no. Laging video. Ba't ganun? Kasi nais ko makita gaano kayo kadunong sa paggamit talaga ng teknolohiya. Kasi sayang, ito kasi ang pinakamagandang gawin or pinakamabilis gawin. Kaysa naman, sige nga, pag inirequire ko kayo magsulat ng essay tapos handwritten, di ba? Mas gusto nyo computerized na lang. Right? Because it's easier. Okay? It makes the life easier. So, but again, in using technology, you should become more creative and more innovative so that you will become different from the ordinary. Okay? Para naman hindi masayang yung teknolohiya na alam mo na. Diba? Okay. Number 2 is the communication and collaboration. The use of digital media, the use of variety of media and formats for global awareness. Okay, so you should be aware with the use of social media or the digital media for global awareness. Use your platform, dear people. Use your platform to introduce global awareness, to introduce good values, to introduce humanity, kindness. Do not use social media to bully people. Do not use social media to, what do you call this one? To debate with other people because you cannot accept their beliefs. No. Do not use the social media for you to broadcast your everyday life. No. Yung lahat ng kabiguan mo sa buhay, bitter sa buhay, nilalabas mo doon. Ang nangyayari, nagiging mabigat ang mundo. No. So, you should be aware that technology, the social media, the digital media is the way of communication and collaboration. If it's the communication, you talk with other people, even if you do not know them. Collaboration means to say you work with other people to make your life easier, to make your assignments easier if that's needed, right? So, communication and collaboration is very important in the life of students because with the use of technology, you can easily ask people to help you. Okay? You can easily collaborate with other students, with other universities. So use this one. You maximize this. No? Do not let the social media, okay, hold you and limit you. Minsan kasi itong social media talagang hindi ka na pinapagalaw, no? When you hold your cell phone and then you open your Facebook and then nagbrowse ka na the whole day. That is not good, no? You have to maximize the use of digital media for you to learn more. But beware of where this information in social media are coming from, no? Mag-ingat din. Always fact check. That is my advice to you. Standard number 3, research and information fluency. As a student, you have to be research-based. Okay. If the teacher asks you to write an essay about an issue, all the things that you are going to write there should be research-based since you are college students. So, you see, you use this technology, use these digital tools to gather, evaluate, use information, and plan strategies for inquiry. Use this to locate, organize, analyze, evaluate, synthesize, okay, and ethically use information from a variety of sources and media. So, these digital tools can make your research easier. You use this to gather, and then you use this to evaluate, use information, and plan and strategize, okay, to inquire. So, you should always go back to research. Okay. And if it's an information fluency, you should know when to believe or when to not believe the things that you read from the variety of social media. Okay? So, and dapat din na kapag ikaw ay naglalahad, kapanipaniwala ka. Because everything that you say, everything that you write are research-based. These are product of research. And you can easily do this too with the use of technology. So, you maximize it. Okay? You manipulate it. Let not this technology manipulate you. Okay? But please manipulate them so that your job as students will become easier. No? You can easily make your assignments. But never copy. Yun naman yun. Never copy. Sinabi lang, ay mag-browse tayo ng internet, tapos kinopya mo na lahat, hindi mo pa naman in-edit. Okay? So, that is a big no-no again, if you are a student. Number 4, standard 4 is critical thinking, problem solving, and decision making. Expectations from you as a student here is the students to use critical thinking skills to plan and conduct research, manage products, solve problems, and make informed decisions using appropriate digital tools. Okay, so with the use of different digital tools that you available within your reach and within your means, you are expected to use critical thinking. No? You think critically, think globally. You are expected that you have the skills to plan. Okay, you will become planners. Okay, conduct research. Okay, you will become researchers, manage projects. You'll become managers and implementers, solve problems, and make informed decisions. Okay, so these are what we expected from you. Ang dami, no? Critical thinking, skills to plan, conduct research, manage products, solve problems, and make informed decisions with the use of appropriate. Okay, the keyword here is appropriate, kung ano ang karapat-dapat na dapat gamitin na digital tools. So, it's expected from students to become critical thinkers, no? Okay, problem solvers, and then decision makers in the process. Standard number 5 is digital citizenship. You see? What are the requirements here? So, every technology student becomes a digital citizen who demonstrates ethical and legal behavior, exemplified by the practice of safe, legal, and responsible use of information. Okay, with the use of technology, you as a student becomes digital citizen that demonstrate ethical and legal behavior. You're not just ordinary digital citizen who use the digital platforms, no, but you are expected to demonstrate ethical and legal behavior. By how? By the practice of safe, legal, responsible, and use of information. Do not just share and share and share, no. That's it. And then if you say responsible use of information, you have to give 100% fact check before putting it in any digital platform. So you're expected to become a digital citizen who have the ethics, may disiplina, at naniniwala sa legalidad ng lahat. At ang pag-uugali natin sa digital world na ito ay karapat-dapat. Okay? And we should practice this safety, okay? Giving or building a safety environment for everyone through having a safe social platform also that you use, no? Students exhibit positive attitude towards the support of technology for collaboration, learning, and productivity as digital citizenship. So I always say that as a student or as a digital citizen, you should know how to collaborate with other people. You should know how to talk with them. You should know how to mingle with them. Okay? You should have the positive attitude in collaboration, in learning, okay, and productivity also. So, learning this ICT or the technology that is engulfing the world should support you in your learning and not to bring you out from learning, no? Minsan kasi, naa-addict na tayo masyado sa, alimbawa, sa online games, di ba? So, hindi na tayo nakakapag-concentrate. So, on that part, nagiging dilemma yung pagiging digital citizen mo because you did not use it with discipline. Okay? So, being a digital citizen, your digital citizenship should demonstrate, okay, ethical and legal behavior. Especially so, you will become future teachers. Standard 6, technology, operations, and concepts. So, students to comply to sound understanding of technology concepts, system, and operation. So, you are expected to comply to the rules, no? Transfer current knowledge to learning of new technology. So, you are expected also to demonstrate, okay, your understanding with technologies, and of course, to transfer your current knowledge if you have to learning a new technology. So, learning also with the use of technology is non-stop. It cannot limit, and it always amazes me how far you manipulate, or how far you what do you call it? Yeah, you manipulate the technology. Okay, so students, it is one of our prayer. It is one of our expectation that you will comply, okay, to sound and understanding technology concept. And then if you have new discovery, it is expected from you to share it, to share the knowledge, for everyone to learn also. So technology is non-stop. You learn every day. You are more equipped than me, than myself. And that is acceptable. I accepted it already because I am a digital migrant, while you are the digital natives. Okay, so all those standards, the 6 standards for you students, you should do it. You should perform it. You should believe it. You should enhance it. Okay, so that the technology will be maximized. The ICT will be maximized in your favor. Okay, so I would like to end this lecture through the following adage, that I copied from internet. Number 1, I fear the day that technology will surpass our human interaction. The world will have a generation of idiots. Albert Einstein. It's true. Imagine Albert Einstein told us this way back, and now it's happening. I fear the day that technology will surpass our human interaction. In your homes, everyone's having the phone. You have internet. You are living in one house, but you have GC. Okay, and then you want to eat. You just post it in the GC. Then what happened? At the end of the dinner, ikaw lang mag-isang nakakain. Kakain sila pag gusto nila. You see? Going to reunion, limbawa. Everyone goes to the reunion. Who are talking with each other, the older ones. What about the youth? Okay, they're engrossed with their cell phones. And then you call that a reunion? Diba? Pumunta ka pa. That is why Albert Einstein said that the world will have a generation of idiots. You see? We become idiots because of technology. That should not be. Okay? We should maximize the use of technology, and it should not make us idiots. Imagine you walking with your friend, tapos kakain kayo sa labas, tapos hindi kayo nag-uusap kasi nagsa-cellphone kayong dalawa. Hindi na lang kayo lumabas, di ba? Sayang ang oras. So, idiots, sabi ni Albert Einstein. Next one. Verbal communication cannot be lost because of a lack of skill. The ability to listen and learn is the key to mastering the art of communication. If you don't use your verbal skills and networking, it will disappear rapidly. Use technology well. You see, verbal communication cannot be lost because of lack of skill. It is the ability to listen and learn that it serves as a key to mastering the art of communication. Now, kailan nawawala itong communication na to? Communication skills natin. With the use of technology. Kasi nga, we do not talk with each other. Even if we are seated beside each other, we have our own little world. That is why it says here that if you don't use your verbal skills, it will disappear. So, it is not the lack of skill, but it is your choice. If you lost that skill, if you lost that communication or verbal skills. Because pinili mong manahimik kasi meron kang sariling mundo. How many of us have a lot of virtual friends than actual friends? Okay? In the virtual friendship, you can actually tell everything to them. What about your real friend? Bakit pag nangyari ba sa atin na masama, sinong lalapit? Yung digital friend mo, anong maitutulong niya? It's the friend. It's your physical friend that will come and help you. Okay? That will come and talk with you. So let us use technology wisely. Let us not allow that the verbal skills that we have and the networking that we have will be lost is because we have chosen to talk with the small world that we have created digitally. Okay. Second to the last, according to J.C.R. Licklider, in a few years, men will be able to communicate more effectively through a machine than face-to-face. It happened already, right? Sinabi nila dito noon pa that time will come that we, the people, will communicate more effectively, not by face-to-face, but through machine. And then, may katuloy ito sabi, that is a rather startling thing to say, but it is our conclusion. So, they have concluded way back that this world will happen, and it happened. It's happening now, no? We are more communicating to using the machine than to face-to-face. Sabi ko nga sa bahay, di ba? May GC ang magpapamilya. Eh, 3 lang naman ang kwarto, di ba? May GC pa sila. You see? Okay. Next, technology can be our best friend. Yes. It should be. It should be a best friend. It should make our life better and lighter and easier. However, technology can also be the biggest party pooper of our lives. Kontrabida din ang technology, no? It interrupts our own story. Yes. It interrupts our ability to have a thought or a daydream, to imagine something wonderful. Why? Because this technology have brought us somewhere, and we have our virtual environment. It manipulated us, our time, our skills, our efforts. That is why we have no time to write our own stories, to make our own life to the fullest, to fulfill what we want. Okay? It interrupts our ability to have a thought or a daydream. Kaya nga di ba? Minsan ang hirap-hirap mong magsulat kasi hindi ka na nag-i-imagine, no? Because you always rely with the technology. So, because we're too busy bridging the walk from the cafeteria back to the office on the cell phone. See, we have no time. You have no time to look around because even when walking, if we are holding our cell phone, we are using the cell phone. Kabataan, mga kabataan, how many times, especially the students, when I drive, I see students holding their phones. Okay, bubusinahan mo talaga sila. Kasi pag hindi masasagasaan sila di ba? So you see, we are too busy looking at our phones that we cannot see the people, the things around us. And we become idiots on that part. So, to end this one, I have to challenge everyone. Please manipulate the technology, the use of technology. Pakinabangan mo yung teknolohiya meron tayo para maging magaan ang buhay mo as bilang guro. Don't allow this technology to manipulate you since it is not the objective of why technology was developed. It is to make man's life easier, to help the man, to help you engage in the teaching and learning process easily, okay? To help you reach your students at the short period of time, to help you prepare IMs that are not non-digital, okay? So, with a click, you can compute the grades. So, we have to be best friend with technology. And if they are our best friend, don't let this technology manipulate you every day. Okay? So, I repeat again, let's not become a members of this world of the idiots. But we should learn how to live with the technology. So, good luck in the future endeavors, my dear students. I hope that you learn enough from this lecture. Thank you so much. I'll see you. This has been your Ma'am Ash saying, sa ating classroom, lahat ay matututo kahit magkakalayo. Have a great day.